to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. They are a complete headache. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Sarah Nathan writes in page 6, Prince Harry and this one's wife's recent Nigeria trip was such a glossy PR success they're likely to set up more faux royal tours, much to the chagrin of actual working royals. Insiders tell page 6. The couple's first visit earlier this month came on the heels of a much publicised February trip to Canada to promote the 2025 Invictus Games. But well-placed royal sources with knowledge of royal tours worry that such splashy, high-profile jaunts could create a major diplomatic incident for other countries. Working royals, which Harry and this one's wife were before they decided to step down from their roles in 2020, make official visits abroad at the express invitation of the British Foreign Office. One well-placed royal source told page 6, Harry and this one's wife's trip was very interesting, since it didn't fit any of the normally accepted royal categories. This would have given the High Commission in Nigeria a headache. If a prince lands in your patch, officially or otherwise, you have protocol, security, and media issues, which have to be right. Normally, the royal source added, this would all be part of the planning of a proper royal tour, but Harry and this one's wife's tour showed their all-about-me media strategy and how they divert from royalty's role as super ambassadors for Britain. When Harry and this one's wife break all the usual norms of royal visits, it somewhat looks like the royal family can't manage itself properly. And, of course, this is then a problem for the royal family. It isn't a surprise that they are such a headache. After all, this one's wife, driven by her narcissism, does what she wants. She doesn't care that she breaks protocols. She doesn't care that she might create a diplomatic incident. She just does what she wants because she's this one's wife, and she's access all areas. Driven by her rampant sense of entitlement, she doesn't see that there's anything wrong with going to these places and undertaking what is in all but name a royal tour without the approval of the Foreign Office and its support. She has no accountability for her behaviours. She has no emotional empathy for those affected by what she does. And therefore, in the circumstances, what this then results in is that this one's wife swans around the world, going to places, and, of course, as you know, it's all about making herself look good by virtue of facade management, and all about the receipt of money, residual benefit, without giving a rat's ass as to how this might impact on diplomatic relations. They can go hang. As long as this one's wife is able to get to the prime aims, everything else can go fuck itself. This all comes as the most popular working royals are not able to travel on official tours. Princess of Wales, along with Prince William, last went on tour to Belize, Jamaica and the Bahamas in 2022. But the Princess of Wales is now out of the public eye as she battles cancer. King Charles and Queen Camilla, meanwhile, were meant to visit Australia later this year, but Charles, 75, is also battling cancer. A high-profile royal visit overseas has one main function: to promote British interests. Diplomatic, trade, cultural and humanitarian. That's their job, said the royal source. By the grace of God, there was not a major diplomatic incident this time. But it's a risk for the future that Harry and this one's wife seem to be willing to disregard. And of course it is, because it's not about Britain. It's not about British interests in diplomacy, trade, culture or humanitarianism. It's all about what matters to this one's wife, which is the prime aims. It manifests in her mind as ensuring that she's seen to be doing good, that she's filmed and photographed, that she's seen by lots of people, all embracing her 43% Nigerianness. But the fact is, beneath all of that, there is her narcissism that engine that drives her in relation to all of these problematic behaviours. She doesn't consider the possibility that she could cause an embarrassment, a headache, a problem. She doesn't consider any of that. It just gets shoved to one side. A British official with knowledge of royal tours told Page 6 that Harry and this one's wife's attention-seeking travels would cause a medium headache for embassies and high commissions. It would be up to the British embassy in the host country to decide how to engage with them, the source said, admitting, "The Foreign Office feels the impact of having fewer working royals. It's like having a little bit of gold dust and you can only sprinkle it so far." Harry and this one's wife travelled to Nigeria at the invitation of the country's Chief of Defence, General Christopher Musa. It then goes on to repeat the things that they did whilst they were in Nigeria, which we don't need to go through, as they have been examined in parts passim. But it once again demonstrates the selfishness of this one's wife, whereby she undertakes these tours purely to promote herself, which could be to the detriment of diplomatic relations. What do people below the line think about such activity? Do they condemn it, or do they think, well, she should be able to get on with these things, and too bad if it causes a problem for the stuffy old suits? CC writes, "Her wardrobe indicated that this was an unofficial trip. No royal would wear clothes with bare backs, bare shoulders and low neckline. The clothes on Diana shown on one of her visits were casual but modest. This one's wife does not understand how to dress royally." Snickers replies, "This one's wife doesn't know how to dress, period." Our recollections may vary responds, "She has taught me so much. All hemlines should be dragged in the dirt. Gems should be from the most despicable men you can get to give them to you. Undergarments are optional. Wardrobe malfunctions are to be teased regardless of the culture. These are priceless lessons." Kaleche writes, "So they leave the royal family to embark on their own to make their fortune. Failure after failure ensues, to the point of total rejection and being laughed out of Hollywood. In their effort to stay relevant, they embark on their own royal tour, this one's wife's style, which was also a total failure. Dressing half naked for all to see. Especially the school children did not help. It was also fairly obvious that Harold has become his wife's spare. Doesn't he ever learn? What can they possibly come up with next?" Wish I Was in Texas writes, "When are Harry and this one's wife going to give up with their ongoing never-ending PR? They are both so irrelevant now. Nobody likes them. They are mocked and ridiculed around the world. They are shunned from the royal family. Why do they even keep trying?" Well, wish I was in Texas. If you watch my videos and understand that one of them is a narcissist, then that will give you huge insight as to why this keeps on going. Ophelia, "Hank and Rachel are not working royals. They are not dignitaries. They are private citizens. Therefore, the high commissions and embassies would have nothing to do with them. Our recollections may vary. I hope they keep doing these tours. They are the best entertainment around. As long as Charles is enjoying the performance, we may as well do the same. Onward, Duchess. What country will the Duchess insult next?" Margaret Smith, "These nations that will be inviting them to their countries need to wise up, because they are just being used for spite against the real royal family. The grifters are using these trips as self-promotional vacations, disguised as charity and totally paid by the visiting government." Monty Shitshow Pap, "I think this one's wife dressed like a woman trying hard to sell her wares. Was she able to have one-on-one meetings with the right wealthy people? Is the Archwell Foundation, Archwell Productions, or a private bank account better off now? Was Nigeria taken for a ride with the 43% Nigerian story? It was said the Defence Department paid the duo's expenses. Who funds the Defence Department? Is any aid money used? Grifters will grift." Again, the usual criticisms of them that shows that the headache that they cause is going to go unabated, but once again, it results in plenty of criticism for them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.